Last year, my teammate went to a tournament, and he was on the edge of victory with the best submission in the world, the guillotine. But his opponent was able to get out of the submission and have revenge by throwing him into an omoplata and taking home his shoulder. But guess what? I happened to meet his opponent in an open mat, and I knew I had to give vengeance for my teammate. Let's see how many submissions I can get in this round to avenge him.
Now, just to be clear, Reno is a good guy, but this round is going to get violent for him. And no, it's not going to be violent because I ate a quick elbow to the nose. But I knew I had to get revenge and bring Josh's shoulder back home after Reno stole it from him. Now, being the higher belt, I decided to start on bottom to help him out, but I had to do my first order of business, which is establishing a sweep. I'm using a lazy 7 guard, but it gives me just enough space where I can extend my shin to easily pull his leg out and enter into headquarters. And yes, headquarters is a really dominant position, but I'm trying to work the pressure passing and body locks, so I'm going to let go of this and instead bring that leg over my shoulder, or at least push it out my way enough where I can bring my underhook towards his ribs. The great thing about having his leg over my shoulder is that I've negated all attacks. He's going to need to create some frames and push me away, and that's what he does by shoving me with his right arm against my head, and then his left hand trying to push my body away. But because he extended his left arm far enough, I was able to stuff it, get it to lock over his rib cage with my right hand, and shove my head into his chest. From here, it's super easy to set up a crossface, and I can just step past his legs all the way into side control and start to flatten him out. I start to cook my meal by not advancing too quickly, but giving him enough time to feel my weight. He thinks a buggy choke is going to save him from here, so I bring my forearm over his neck to push it off, because unless you're J-Rod, I am not tapping to a buggy choke. I will, however, knee slide across your belly, and then I use this as an opening to go to dope mount. A lot of people love dope mount because they can go to mount easily, but why not just hit the guillotine? His legs are pinned, so it's tough for him to create space, but I do fall off to my back so I can reestablish all my grips, and it's time for another cow catcher. That's one in the books for me, but if I want to avenge Josh completely, I'm going to need to do a little bit more work than that. Reno steps in trying to enter my guard, so I throw him into 7 guard, which if you don't know is when I have both shins on one leg, but he doesn't want me just to extend for another easy sweep, so he starts knee pummeling trying to get around it. Then he decides to pin both my arms, and he attempts a backstep, and he learns I have the world's stickiest hooks. No way was that going to work on me, but I can easily tilt him with a little bit of forward pressure, and while pulling out his left leg, I'm back on top, and I can start to dominate him with some more pressure passing. Now, if you're a total dick but you want to pass a guard, this would be the time to kick out and sprawl. I'm not looking to kick anybody in the face who's just watching a roll, so I decide not to do that, but I will go towards the head. And right here is a prime example of why you never let somebody grab your head. This is definitely one of the nastiest guillotines you can hit. He pushes my legs by so he can try and roll, but I'm able to plant my legs on the opposite side of his shoulder with a tight and nasty grip, and he's forced to tap or pass out instantly. Now, I completely understand there's a skill difference between the two of us, and I'm not going to gloat about it, so I try and give him a better time by letting him pick a stronger position. I willingly go to inverted guard, which is terrible for my neck, but for some reason I feel like giving him a Christmas gift. It's important to work your bad positions as well as your good positions, so even though I was able to shrimp out easily, I give him another opportunity to take side control, and he starts to work towards dope mount instantly. Now, he's smarter than just going for a guillotine the second he's in dope mount. Instead, he decides to secure position by going towards mount. But I'm able to bring my legs in just enough where I can invert him, and although I can't get this ankle lock, I'm still able to turn into him and start wrapping up front head control. I try and spice it up by going for a Darce, but because both his shoulders are on the mat, this is going to be really tough to do. He makes it a bit easier once he works to his knees, but he's pushing against my hip creating space, so I go towards the guillotine and try and lock up his arm. Unfortunately, that one wasn't getting it done either. It takes everything in my power right now not to throw some punches and show my MMA brain because we have a wall behind us acting like a cage. But this is a Jiu Jitsu match, so I can't use this too much to my advantage, and I decide to reset instead. It's back to square one where I need to start on bottom, establish a sweep, then look for a submission. But before that can happen, I want to risk a little bit of CTE, so I get really close to another group hoping for a headbutt until Reno's a nice guy and pulls me to the side. But then I show him another prime example of why the simple moves in Jiu Jitsu work. This is the third time I'm going to hit him with an easy extension sweep just by pulling out the ankle and extending my shin forward at the same time. Plus, it has the added benefit of not entering a leg entanglement because you're keeping your shin safe. I immediately start putting my daddy pressure on him by using my heavy hips, half of a body lock over his ribs, but he's going to make a nice adjustment. He goes for a quick shoulder clamp, so I have to readjust my base and work towards the other side to free my arm, so I posture up, knee slide, and have a beautiful sequence. There's just something so satisfying about hitting guillotines all the time from every position. And this next submission is satisfying too, though I really don't think I should have been able to pull it off. He tries to step past my knee, which is all fine and dandy, but then I hit a lazy man's version of the false reap. This is just enough control I need to be able to go into his ankle and I can start applying an ankle lock, and with this strange angle, I personally don't think I should have finished this, but he still had to tap. With all these various submissions, whether it be the guillotine, or the guillotine, I think I finally got him revenge from my teammate. The round ends with Reno entering my guard again, but this time he's going to try and enter into a leg entanglement. I'm keeping my hand around his armpit because this creates enough space for me that even if he can get to the inside triangle, I'm safe and I can wait to the end of the round to save me. Good job, Reno, and thanks for rolling with me.
Now, if you want to have the same success I just had in this video, make sure to get gear from xmartial.com. With promotion code Tyler10, you can get some great gear, including their new Halloween items on their website. By wearing this gear, you're going to look more stylish on the mats, and you may even hit a few more guillotines. Make sure you use promotion code Tyler10 on their website and save yourself some extra money.